All right.
Well, then let's take that journey into mystery. We are talking about the Black Panther of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously, this could be a sore subject for a lot of people with the sudden passing of Chadwick Boseman a couple weeks ago. Was it lethargic at all for you to watch this movie, to rewatch this movie?
I think it was more cathartic than lethargic.
Did I use the wrong word?
Yeah, you said lethargic.
My bad.
No, it's fine. But it was nice because he did amazing in this movie, and he's been awesome the previous time we saw him as Black Panther, like the first time we saw him in Civil War as well. But it was great to see him at the forefront, like manning the helm of his own movie and just absolutely knocking it out of the park.
And I mean, with written and directed by Ryan Coogler, like making such great movies before we got to this point. Fruitvale Station is such a good movie. Like it's awesome to see Coogler making this movie, making that step to huge franchise film. We get Creed after this, I believe, which once again another great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Creed was Creed before this or after this? Actually,
keep your train of thought going. I'll Google.
So I loved everything about this, and rewatching this movie, it just made me remember how much this movie is so good. Like, you get to the scene in South Korea, like that whole set piece is just
fantastic
from beginning to the end. Yeah, fantastic. It's filmed well. The characters are all moving, and so much is just happening. But then also the storyline is tight. Like, you're getting the further introduction into Everett Ross. You're getting such a great performance from Andy Serkis as Claw. Like,
that's going to be a whole conversation in and of itself. Just talking about Andy Serkis here in a little bit. I Googled it. Malfoy confirmed in chat. Creed was before Black Panther. It was 2015, 2016.
Got you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So yeah, obviously, Michael B. Jordan is such a big part of Ryan Coogler's filmmaking at this point. Like, it makes sense that he would bring him into this movie, and to have him play Killmonger, like, to be such a almost flawed hero, but also, you know, relatable villain, like, at both times. Like, I definitely have my opinions on Killmonger and his villainy. A lot, you know, you hear a lot of people talk about how, you know, is he the villain? Is he doing the wrong thing? I still think yes. Like, he's going in there and he is making some people believe that he is doing the right thing for Wakanda, when in actuality he wants all of Wakanda to just burn. And if his plan had gone through, it would not have been good for them.
Yeah, I want to say that he was trying to do the right thing the wrong way.
I mean, the result of, yes, opening up our borders and telling people that we exist and helping those that we can help is a good thing. But that's not exactly the way, like, he's going about it. He's like, I'm going to pick a fight with everybody and expose us. So now everybody is going to know they need to come attack us. Like, that, the end result of his end game is Wakanda being destroyed by the world's powers coming and destroying it, even with all their technology.
Mm-hmm. Like, you have all the technology, you are the technological marvel of the world at the moment, but that still doesn't mean that you can fight the whole world at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Malfoy agrees. He says that the South Korea scene is the best part of the movie, in his opinion. I love that whole scene. I love Andy Serkis' Claw. Martin Freeman with an American accent breaks my mind.
Well, just to know that both Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, who are, you know, Sherlock Holmes and John Watson, are doing American accents in MCU movies is just, it's wrong and right on so many different levels.
I'm okay with it because both of their characters are fantastic and they both do great jobs.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes, it's kind of a sticker shock, so to speak, in when you see Martin Freeman's character for the first time in Civil War and he's doing his American accent, but like this one you get used to it, I guess.
Yeah, and I got real used to it real quick. Like it only like it was jarring the first like 2 or 3 times he talked. And then I was like, "Oh, nah, that's fine. Whatever. He looks American."
It works.
It works. It's fine. So do we want to talk about the obvious thing we need to talk about first, or do we want to save that for later?
Oh, if it's the obvious, let's talk about the obvious.
Okay, because like we hit on it already with the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think anybody saw that coming, and it was bizarre is not the right word, but it was just one of those things. It's one of the only times that somebody's been like, "Oh, like a celebrity died," and I don't instantly just go, "No." Like, and
Yeah.
that was my response. Like, you're memeing. Like, Reddit is on something right now. Like, that's not real. Like, I think I saw your tweet is how I found out about it.
Yeah, that's how I found out about it too. Like a friend of mine who works in news still, like she tweeted out that, you know, that he had passed. And I immediately went to go look it up, and sure enough, people were reporting it. And it was honestly just gut wrenching. You can't believe that something would happen, like something like that happens to someone so young and in the prime.
For real, like absolutely in their prime. And it's like, wow. I don't really have words for it, but I felt like we needed to say something directly about it.
Yeah, and just to see, you know, all the stuff that came out after his passing about how, you know, he was making all those trips to children's cancer hospitals and children cancer wards and stuff like that to give them hope and inspiration when he knew that he was going through very similar circumstances and having to be that brave face in front of the cameras and keeping it all to himself. Like obviously he probably had his close circle, his family that knew and stuff like that, but it's still for a person that has to live in the spotlight and be, you know, secretive about such a big thing couldn't have been easy.
Absolutely. I'm looking through his IMDb right now, looking at like the just madhouse of work that he put in those 4 years that like of his diagnosis, and the sheer just drive behind the like what he was doing. I don't understand how, like, I cannot comprehend how he was able to just push like he did. On top of in Black Panther, like in his role as Black Panther, doing a lot of his own stunts.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they had to have filmed Captain America in 2000, like the end of 2015, right? Because it came out
in 2016.
2016, yeah. So I mean, he had to right after filming Black Panther, being Black Panther for the first time is when he gets his diagnosis. Then he has to go and film Black Panther, like knowing that's what he's going through, and it's disheartening. Like it hurts to think about. And I mean, obviously that was the breakout. Like I'm Black Panther. I'm part of the MCU. I imagine roles were just coming at him like nobody's business, and money was being thrown at him. Like, hey, here's all this and that, and he still managed to he picked roles that made him, I would assume, make him proud, because there wasn't any derogatory roles in his career after that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it was just, it's all leading man and not second fiddle, I guess is a way to put it.
Yeah, like so Black Panther comes out in 2018, and the next credits he has are Infinity War and then Endgame, so 2018, 2019. Straight into 21 Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And then I haven't seen The Five Bloods, but he's credited in that.
He is. He's it's a small role, and
Okay.
you can see him very thin in that movie too. But like the 12 bridge, the In the Name of the King is somewhere in there, right? Or it's something like that. Or is
Um,
that's not before Black Panther, is it?
it's not. Let me see. Name of the King. I don't see it in his filmography on
Or
IMDb.
Call Me King or something. It's something King in there.
Oh,
It was a
Message from the King.
message from the King. Thank you.
That was in 2016.
Okay, so
Yeah.
around the same time he was being Black Panther, right?
Yeah, so it's on the IMDb page. It's Captain America: Civil War, then Message from the King, and so on.
Yeah. So it's sad, and I think I don't think there's anybody that's been to say anything worse or say anything bad about him yet. So
Yeah.
it seems like everybody pretty much was like, oh, that's at the very least that's unfortunate. Like it's terrible that happened. Now, getting into this movie.
now for the fun stuff. The heavy part is over. Now for the fun stuff.
Just getting to rewatch this movie right now was just so good because it reminded me how much I loved every character. Like there's the scene between Okoye and Nakia right after Killmonger becomes king of Wakanda, and it's one of the best scenes and so well acted that I was blown away by the two of them because they're in that corridor, and you know Nakia's like, okay, let's go, we're gonna go overthrow this king, and she's like, I can't, I'm beholden to the throne, like I'm a guard to the king, like this is my job, and I'm not gonna go against it just because I didn't like the outcome. Like it's very poignant. Like what do you do in that situation?
I liked the line because it just goes to show like the alignments of the characters pretty well. Our king was murdered in ritual combat. Like,
Yeah.
it sucks. I'm not happy about it. I'm actually really upset, but there's nothing I can do.
It's the rules. Yeah.
This is the way it goes, and it's like, oh dang, like that speaks volumes for both people in that scene.
Exactly. And then Nakia has to gets the same like kind of thing thrown back in her face when they go and see M'Baku, and they're like, well, you know, he was dethroned or whatever by somebody, and he's like, well, was it an unfair fight? And they're like, no, it was fair. He's like, well, it doesn't sound like
doesn't sound like a murder. It sounds like he just got beaten.
Yeah, exactly. So by your rules, that means the guy won properly, like kind of thing.
Because they even make a big deal at the beginning. The fight only stops when someone yields or dies. So
yeah. And I mean, once again, technically, when T'Challa comes back, he's like, I never yielded, and obviously I didn't die. So
I mean,
it's your fault that it was over.
Technicalities. I would say getting thrown off a waterfall is yielding.
Yes, very, very true.
I want to touch on it now because I don't want to have to wait till the end of it. I'm upset with this movie in such a minute way, but in a way that is on brand for me to be upset with this movie.
Okay.
We lose Claw and Killmonger.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
What?
However, when we get to the like, where can these people show up later? I have something for Killmonger.
Okay, because I love Michael B. Jordan's performance in this movie.
Yes, so good.
I want more Killmonger. That's like this time around. I'm not upset that they got rid of a villain just because you like messed up any potential story that you had down the line that he would have been really good for. This time it was like, no, that was a great performance, and I just want to see more of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, he is so good in this role, and it makes you believe in his character. Like he's doing all the bad things, but you're just like, it makes sense. Like it's so on character. Like it's so good. Yeah.
And I don't know, the movie was just written incredibly well for Killmonger to show up and be like, nah, I'm blood to the throne, like I have a claim to the throne, and then you get T'Challa all like beat up about it, like, wait, hold up. This could have been solved if my dad had just brought the kid home.
Yeah. If he would have just treated him like family, like he should have in the first
like
place.
He should have in the first place. All of this could have been avoided. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's the arc that he has, right, with his father. Like, because when at the beginning of the movie, it's my dad has died, and which we saw in Civil War, and it's I loved him so much. He never did anything wrong. He was a great king. He was an amazing father. But then he gets his eyes open just a little bit. Like, I'm not saying that he wasn't a great father and he wasn't an amazing king, but he did do something wrong at one point, and he gets his eyes open. So I think that takes away that how can I live up to my father as the king? Like, how can I be a king like that? When you find out that, yeah, he made mistakes and he made a really big mistake. So I have to make my own way. I have to do this king thing my way. And obviously that's his arc. That's his, finding his way kind of storyline.
All right. So Andy Serkis, though.
So good. Like, when you think of Andy Serkis, like, I honestly always just think of Andy Serkis as pre Gollum Schmeagol size. Like, he's so thin in those Lord of the Rings movies. But now, like, he is so buff.
The MCU, it does it to people, man.
It really does. I mean, it's all that, running around in mocap as an ape, probably too.
Like, he does amazing. The CGI for his like his vibranium arm, is awesome. Like, what is it in the South Korea scene where I'm spacing on names? Martin Freeman is like, big posse, like, what, you got a mixtape coming out? And he's like, oh yeah, I can get you the SoundCloud link. Perfect. He's the most like devil may care, I'm just in it for the money and I don't give anything about anything kind of villain. And he's the kind of chaos that we needed.
Yes, exactly.
Because everybody else is thought out and meticulous and has like a point, and he's just like, I don't care, man.
And I'm not one that's intelligent enough for these kind of connections, I guess, because I don't usually pick up on them. But with like the blatant one of Shuri talking to Everett Ross, being like, "Don't sneak up on me like that, colonizer," kind of dialogue. Is Ryan Coogler making the same like kind of statement when you have Claw have his own rap album like on SoundCloud, like kind of like the white person taking over black culture or trying to do black culture kind of thing?
Maybe. I took it as more of a everybody has a SoundCloud. Why wouldn't Claw have a SoundCloud? like what? Why wouldn't he? Of course, this weird, eccentric, like
South
African international criminal be like, I'm gonna make a rap album. Here we go. And Malfoy just put in chat that apparently he actually wrote all those songs. Like, he has a mixtape as Claw.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah,
I didn't know that, and that's fantastic. I kind of love that.
What do you think of their initial plan of robbing the museum? Like, it obviously it goes off without a hitch, and that's our introduction to Michael B. Jordan's character. Once again, another scene that's just filmed so well, and does such a great job of telling us, like, the heavy work of telling us who Killmonger is.
I thought that was a great way to introduce him as a character.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the whole thing of like, we're gonna go and I'm gonna ask to talk to the expert just so I can prove them wrong, and then we'll kill them, and then we'll take what I'm here for. The reveal that he's working with Claw in that scene is great, because again, if you're just coming into the MCU at Black Panther, you see him and you're like, I don't know who that is, but obviously he's somebody important. But if you've been watching this whole time and you like keep your names about you, your faces about you, you're like, hold on. We saw him in Ultron and he was bad news in Ultron.
Yep.
Right? So then you're just like, okay, this is bigger than we thought. And beautiful plan, expertly executed, and 10 out of 10 would heist again.
I mean, I love the connection, like the whole vibranium. He stole vibranium from Wakanda, and we learned about that in Age of Ultron. All that vibranium that he stole was then used to make Ultron, and now we see that, like, the repercussions of him stealing all that vibranium before Age of Ultron was Daniel Kaluuya's character's father was killed. You know, people were definitely injured at the very least when he came in. Like, I kind of want to know that story. Like, how did he get in? How did he get past the defenses? How did he end up stealing everything, stealing the vibranium that he did steal? And, making the world think that was the only vibranium in the world when Wakanda actually has all kinds of it.
Yeah. And I think I figured out where you want to see people in the future, but I don't want to take your thunder, because if that's what I'm thinking, that'd be awesome.
Okay. One thing that really ticked me off about this movie is a thing, and it's a thing that happens in a lot of movies, especially when there's a hero and something has to happen to them where someone close to them backstabs them or stabs them in the back. Communication. So Daniel Kaluuya's character comes up to him and is like, "Hey, so you got Claw, right? You got him and you brought him back, and he's going to pay for his crimes." And he's like, T'Challa's like, he slipped through my fingers. It's like, no, like, you had him. Some other dude came and blew up the place that you were at and stole him, like, broke him out. Like, why not say all that? But no, you just put, he slipped through my fingers, as if like you fucked up, like, kind of thing.
Don't be cute about it. Just straight up, hey, we had him, but then we got exploded, and Evans almost died. Like, the only reason he's alive is because I put a bead in his back.
And then, like, later on, when Killmonger shows up with the dead body of Claw, maybe Daniel Kaluuya's character isn't like, oh wait, are you the one that actually stole him away from our guy, from, kind of thing. He doesn't back Killmonger at the meeting of the families or the tribes or whatever.
Yeah, and that whole scene, I felt like people were real quick to jump on the Killmonger bandwagon.
Well, you know what that is, right? Everybody likes to see the tea spilled. Like,
I mean, yeah. But, like, it's just so quick where it's like, yo, we just got a new king. And then this guy's gonna roll in here and be like, I have claim to the throne though. And you've never met him. Ever.
I mean, he had the names, he had the ring. That's it. That's all you needed. You had the receipts.
You have the receipts, but is there not more of a vetting process?
Nope.
Is there not?
You say, I got this proof that I'm related, and I know the names that I need to know. Thus, I am the long lost heir.
But even then, he's the nephew of the previous king. There's no, like, unless there's a different means of how succession works. because obviously I
In
know
that-
nothing about like how the culture or the hierarchy is set up. But like
right.
you're the nephew. You don't have a
So-
direct claim.
Well, I think you might, because it doesn't sound like it goes off of firstborn or not, because T'Challa describes it as having that he saw a man who had his grandfather's ring, so which matched the one that he had. So the two rings came from the grandfather, not from T'Challa's father. So I'm guessing at one point T'Chaka and his brother fought it out for being king and Black Panther, and T'Chaka's brothers did not win, and so now the lineage still is there that his son could also challenge for it, because you're allowed to have any one of the 7 tribes can challenge him on challenge day, but since he wasn't around, he's taking his opportunity now.
You missed challenge day, bud. Sorry. Like,
yes, it's not explained well, but you have to make some leaps. But I think there's it's there in the background of like how it could work.
how is that not the answer of like, I'm here to exercise my blood right? Dude, that was like 2 weeks ago.
You have to wait till next challenge day. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I'm okay with that answer.
Could you imagine him just like hanging around for just under a year to be like, I'm going to challenge you. I hope you know this.
Awesome, cool. Like, there's the gym, dude. Work out all you want. Get ripped. Get ready for this fight. Do your thing. I'll see you in a year.
I mean, I love the fact that it sets up how the challenge works with challenge day and M'Baku. Like, I forgot to say, that's one of my favorite scenes also, like the mountain tribe coming in and just doing his whole thing, and M'Baku being like, we have been watching from the mountain. This whole little speech of like how T'Challa is not worthy and they're letting some young girl just pervert all their technology and stuff like that, and then later on when he's like, I will feed you to my children. Just joking. They're vegetarian. That's I mean, it's very possible, and a lot of big bodybuilders do completely vegan like diets to get to that size, but M'Baku's a huge dude.
Right. So catching up on chat here, because Malfoy's been busy typing.
Has he not?
Just recently. So going back to the miscommunication part where he slipped through my hands.
Mhm.
Malfoy says he didn't want to present an excuse. He's the king. His responsibility for losing Claw is really the only thing that matters, I think.
I get that, and I understand that's probably what he was doing. He's like, he's taking responsibility. He's like, it's not an excuse, but also give a true telling of what happened. You don't have to be like, it's not my fault. Just be like, hey, this other dude came in and like blew the place up. I was taking care of everybody else. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then Malfoy completely agreed with you on how the blood challenge works.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Malfoy.
Then he chimed in with, but he's the son of a betrayed prince. Exception for sure.
That's fair.
So like,
But
if he shows up like,
because he kills him. He kills him right there. Like, it's not, he doesn't tell everybody else like what exactly happened. And the only one who really knows is Zuri, right? So
yeah,
I don't know.
But even then, Zuri says something at the waterfall about like I'm the one who was responsible for getting your dad killed. I should die.
Yeah, because he was reporting back to T'Chaka all about his wrongdoings.
Then it like directly in chat here, and I'll get back around to what Malfoy just recently said. There's lots of love for M'Baku.
So good. So good.
Both Pep and Malfoy are like, this dude's dope. And then Malfoy hit us with the quote from the movie, I found Panther claws in my daddy's chest.
Yeah, he does say that. And that's what I'm saying, is that since he ends up killing him right there and then, like, there's no trial, and I'm sure they're a civilized culture. They have some type of system like that. It's just straight up, I'm the king, I get to execute kind of thing.
Because he was saying you're going to return home and you're going to face the council and admit your crimes.
Right.
So there has to be some sort of something.
Yeah. So he doesn't. He obviously didn't reveal everything. He kept the fact that there was a son out there. So that's the part where it's just it's.
Is that what
I don't know.
Suspension of disbelief should be?
I guess. I mean, it all boils down to the fact that you just have to realize that his father wasn't flawless. He wasn't perfect. Like he wasn't the high on that pedestal that T'Challa always had him.
That makes that makes sense. I'm here for that.
Yeah. Who else do we get? We get a whole slew of characters in this.
Yeah, like we get a whole slew of new characters in this movie.
We have Okoye. Obviously his bodyguard, the general that is in part, which also at the end of the movie, between Okoye and Daniel Kaluuya's character, who are married, like how is that marriage gonna last? Are they still together?
I don't think so.
I mean, she's like, yeah, for Wakanda, I will kill you, like, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I don't think that marriage lasts, and I think she gets the rhino in the divorce.
I mean, the rhino loved her, so
yeah.
Did you see, like, this is the first time I ever saw it too, but when she jumps in front of M'Baku, who's about to get hit by the rhino, like, M'Baku is literally cowering that a rhino is about to hit him, which is fair because the rhino is about to hit him.
Yeah.
But it stops just in time to lick her face. And I just, the face you see on M'Baku is priceless. Like it's
well,
so
I'm dead
for a second. Yeah.
This is how I die. I've lived a good mountain life.
Do you think when the tribes are fighting each other that they actually end up killing each other? Like I don't doubt that there's major injury, but they know that they're fighting amongst themselves. Do they pull their punches or not go for death blows?
I think that maybe the border tribe might be, but okay. I don't think the King's Guard are.
The Dora Milaje?
Yeah. I don't think that they're necessarily pulling punches because I mean, like, this is their job.
Yeah, it is their job, but it's like you can see that they're using the blunt end of the staff as opposed to the pointy end of the staff most of the time.
Fair.
Or the pointy end of the spear. Sorry. I just think that like it's like it's Natasha and Clint fighting in Civil War. The two of them are fighting,
pulling your punches.
But they're pulling their punches. Yeah, exactly. They're not like, it's to the point where Clint's like, hey, we're still friends after this, right? And she's like, well, it depends on how hard you hit me. Like, the two, like, it's serious business here. You have two warring sides of one thing, but you know that in the end, you still have to be neighbors with these people, and especially for Okoye and her husband, like, they still have to be a loving couple. And by all accounts, before this, they've loved each other quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a rough question, which brings me to my next point. I think this movie deserved an R rating.
Ooh, okay.
I think
Disney would never do that, but okay.
No, I think it would have benefited from being an R rating where we could have gotten blood. We could have gotten like that kind of, like, there needed to feel like there was consequences to the fight.
True.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, right now it was just kind of like Power Rangers fighting.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of just bodies being flung around, but no aftermath.
Yeah. I think that even if it's not an R rating, just figure out how to get us, like, I don't need anything gratuitous, but I need something to prove that there's damage being done here.
Well,
And
I don't doubt that the ships that Everett Ross shot out of the sky, those people had to have died. Like,
they go.
you don't. Yeah, I mean, they might have had ejector seats, but like we don't see that. Those ships go down, so
Yeah.
I'm sure those people ended up passing. That's another thing I forgot. In the, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go.
I was gonna go with in this one, like in this fight scene, the in-fight scene in particular, it's all seems very controlled, and the whole everybody in the city in Wakanda are fighting each other at this point. But you go back to the South Korea scene, like when he takes out Claw's wheel and the SUV goes flipping through like what essentially is a bazaar or a little strip mall or whatever. Like,
people died.
how do you not? Yeah, how is it that T'Challa does not think, oh, that was a mistake? Like, people were in the way. Like, that was a heavily populated area that a car just went flying into at 90 miles per hour.
Yeah. And does chasing Claw fall under the Sokovia Accords?
Which that's a thing. Like, is the Sokovia Accords a thing after Civil War? Is that still around? I never figured it out. And why is it that they have to hide Bucky? Like, he is the king of Wakanda. He signed the Sokovia Accords. I'm sure Wakanda is a part of the governing body of the Sokovia Accords. He could be like, hey, I've taken Bucky prisoner and we're keeping him here for rehabilitation, like, kind of thing.
Yeah. I think they had to hide him because they have to hide everything in Wakanda.
That's fair.
Like if they were like, hi, Wakanda's going to take him and we're going to rehabilitate him, the world would have gone, yeah, okay.
What is he going to learn in the grass huts and stuff like that?
Yeah. It's the question at the end of the movie. With all due respect, Your Highness, what does a nation of like peasant farmers have to teach the rest of the world?
Well, I mean, yeah, even Everett Ross, when he's interrogating Claw, and he's like, yeah, it's just textiles, like that's their main export kind of thing. He's like, no. Like, and then what's the other thing is, like, when Killmonger is getting into the plane with Claw, he's like, hey, just take us to Wakanda. He already knows where Wakanda is because obviously he gets there without Claw's help. Was the plan for him to always just go to Wakanda and like turn in Claw, or kill Claw right there at the border?
Ooh, that could have been turn him in or kill. Like, I think it would have been kill him at the border
and just be like, here's the dead guy that you needed or
but
wanted.
If it was kill him at the border, why did he shoot Claw's homie?
I mean, that's just because he doesn't care. He just kills whoever's in his way. Like, he even kills his own girlfriend. Like,
yeah, like that one, it's shitty, but I understand it. Where it's like, all right, you're gonna die one way or another because Claw's a madman. So I'm gonna do it and make it quick. Like, so sorry,
you don't get away.
Yeah, but this is how it's got to go. But like, if Killmonger hadn't shot the pilot, all of that could have been avoided right there.
Yeah, but that was because I think it's because like Claw was like, no, I'm not taking you to Wakanda, and so he needs him to go to Wakanda. So it's like, well, it's time for Plan B. Like, that's the way Killmonger works. It's do that, and then if that doesn't work, go straight to Plan B. Like, he has to make split decisions.
Okay, I'll accept it this time. So again, another wall of text from Malfoy here. The third act battle was really below the standard of the rest of the film set. I really felt the characters and politics were why this film excelled. Once the Marvel machine comes in to animate, it's clear which part he had to control over on the macro, if that makes any sense. I'm just reading it as it's said. And then, like, in regard, oh yeah, go.
I was just saying, if he's talking about just the final fight scene between T'Challa and Killmonger, like I understand, yeah, that doesn't look good. It looks very rubbery animation, like when they're in the suits and they're fighting on the light rail and stuff like that. It doesn't look great, but I think the final battle scene between the warring tribes, like I thought that looked good.
Mm-hmm. I would agree on that. The suit fights are clunky.
And that's the problem you have when you start doing the whole, oh, my suit comes out from nowhere kind of thing. Like that's the when you have it with Iron Man towards the end of Robert Downey Jr. being Iron Man, like the suits don't look as real anymore because they're not real anymore. They're not practical.
Yeah. I like the practical suits.
Yeah, they look better.
Yeah, they really do.
It's almost there.
Then talking about Bucky,
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure T'Challa took Bucky as a gift to Steve at the end of Civil War. I'm pretty sure that Bucky being in Wakanda is in direct violation of the Accords.
Okay.
So, like at the end of Civil War,
Steve takes Bucky to Wakanda.
Does Steve take Bucky to Wakanda?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, he's like, we know a place that's gonna, or maybe Wakanda, or no, T'Challa's like, I know a place that we can take him, kind of thing. So the three of them go together to Wakanda.
Okay. Sorry,
if I remember.
And in regards to Claw getting got, Malfoy says, I was under the impression he had to get Claw as far as Claw was useful to him, and then it was lights out. So again, I kill the bus driver.
This is true. Yeah. That. Yeah, and then unfortunately, it's getting rid of another villain though. So,
and I'm sad about that because you don't have to, like, Claw doesn't have to be a big set piece for anything. He's just a dude in the world that's blowing stuff up. Like,
yeah,
he's the agent of chaos that doesn't exist in Marvel right now. Like, doesn't exist in the MCU.
That's fair. That's fair.
Where you can have all the plans you want, but you just happen to be doing a thing on the same day that Claw is trying to rob, like, a museum or a bank, or he's just in town and he sees you messing with stuff and he's like, I know what I'm doing today. Like,
so we can't have Claw, and obviously going forward, there's going to be tension between Okoye and her husband. Nakia, I mean, are we going to see more of her spying? Like,
maybe because they kind of set it up that she was going to stay in Wakanda and be the queen.
That's in the idea that T'Challa is going to be around, and unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman's not going to be around. So
fair. Then toss her back.
I mean, I'm sure Ryan Coogler's like, okay, let's see what we can do story wise now. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think that it would be fair to say that she'll probably get tossed back out into the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just she's like the Wakanda Black Widow.
Ooh, I like that.
Like, she might be our new Black Widow, like not like in title, but she might fill that role.
She could be. She could. She definitely could.
I wouldn't be against that at all.
No, not at all. I hope, and I can't see why we wouldn't, but I hope we have more M'Baku in the next movie, and I think I have a really good place where that could work.
Isn't he? I'm terrible with. I'm just bad at villain names.
Oh, is he a villain in normal comic book?
Yeah.
I think he's White Ape. He might be. Like, I know that they have a character, like a villain that's called that. So that might be his character. Obviously, they do a lot with ape and gorilla with that tribe, the mountain tribe. So, or maybe it's man ape or something like that.
Yeah, man ape.
Okay. Is that whom?
Looking. Yep. So he's Like M'Baku is Man-Ape.
Yeah, I mean, which I normally is the villain to T'Challa's Black Panther, but I think that they've done something different with the character in the MCU, so to speak. Just like they did different with the Skrulls. Like they're not so much the enemy. It's and it's more like he's more about his people than he is about taking over Wakanda.
And there's like this mutual respect that they have between each other by the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously you see him in game, he's there to fight. Like, or he's there to fight in Infinity War, he's there to fight in in-game.
Mm-hmm.
So because we all got to live on the planet, man.
We all got to live on the planet, and if Thanos is like, yo, half the planet's gone, then what if it's your half of the planet?
Or, you know, if he at the end, he's like, I'll just snap and break it down to the atoms and rebuild them the way I want.
Next time, go for the
head. Angela Bassett's character, the Queen Mother, she gonna play a bigger part in the next movie?
I think she's gonna have to.
I think so too.
Like, given the circumstances, I think she's gonna have to, because we're gonna get Shuri in a bigger role.
Mm-hmm.
And who's gonna coach her through being a leader, through being like an ambassador, through being the Black Panther? Yeah. Like, it's gonna be her mom.
Yeah,
that was a terrible voice crack.
So that's where I think I'm going with it. Obviously, in the next movie, I think you have to go along with the storyline that's set in the comics of Shuri becoming the Black Panther, and she maybe the next Challenge Day she steps up to be the queen of Wakanda. Like, it's a thing, and maybe M'Baku challenges her, maybe he doesn't. I don't know, because you don't really want a repeat of the first movie in that way.
Yeah,
but I think that everybody rallies around her because she's got the science down, right? Like, science is her thing. She knows how to make anything. But does she know, like you pointed out, does she know how to be a leader? Does she know how to be the queen? Does she know how to be an ambassador? So then you have her queen, the Queen Mother, her mother teach her that part. You have Nakia teach her how to be a spy or spycraft and stuff like that. You get Okoye in there to teach her how to fight better.
I would be okay with the next Black Panther movie being a training montage.
I mean, I can see a big part of that movie being a training montage.
And like, there's no meme, there's no sarcasm. I would be okay with that movie. You grab one of the like smaller villains, like one of the smaller bad guys, and you make it a domestic movie. There doesn't have to be anything big about it. There doesn't have to be anything like super crazy high stakes. It's just one of those things. It's like, hey, there's somebody out there like doing not good things. Darn. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, so you can spend the time setting her up to be like to be the next Black Panther.
Right.
I'd be absolutely here for it.
Maybe they don't do the storyline where T'Challa is dead. Maybe they just have him, you know, he's like, I just have to do stuff where I'm the king. Like, I have to do stuff that's on a global scale now. I can't be the Black Panther anymore. So he passes just that mantle down. Maybe, you know, T'Challa isn't dead, even though, unfortunately, Chadwick Boseman is. So if she doesn't have to do that, like, one of the things that I think you could do with Michael B. Jordan is you make it so that she feels like, even though she can learn how to fight from Okoye, she needs that certain ruthlessness that only Killmonger showed her. Like, when he almost kills her on, up on the thing, and she feels like she needs that, and she goes into that realm that you see the other kings, because at one point he was a king of Wakanda. So there's no reason why he wouldn't be there. And she's like, hey, I want to learn from you. I want to learn how to fight the way you fight.
That'd be awesome. Two things for Malfoy here again, because he is all over this. I'm about this, dude. We found a topic you like.
This movie, no kidding.
Yeah. He asked, would it be totally awful to open with T'Challa's funeral? No context needed type of thing. I think My response to that, I think it would be okay as long as it's tasteful.
And I'm sure they would do it tastefully. I just don't know if that's what they'd want to do. Like, I don't know if you want that to reflect in this movie. Like, I could see the ups and I could see the downs of it. Like, it's going to be a way for all audiences to just be like, yes, we remember Chadwick Boseman and we loved him. But then also it's like, we kind of do a disservice to him by making his character go away.
I feel that makes a lot of sense. I think the best way forward is to go with the like geopolitical play of, hi, now that we know that you're Black Panther and this is what Wakanda is, you can't be both.
Yeah. I think that's definitely the way that and he's not going to have time to be both. Like, you have the country to run, and now you have this bigger thing that you want to do. You don't have time to be running around with the Avengers kind of thing.
Yeah, but like the biggest selling point for that, we've talked about it a couple times, is you're the leader of a whole country and you're out here running around with people making like world altering choices.
And a dude that shoots arrows.
Yeah, that's not okay. I want to be on that UN floor when somebody goes, hi, what is it, like the representative from, I don't know, insert country here, just chiming in to say, King T'Challa, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you think you are? And why do you think you're better than us?
Yeah.
Last thing from Malfoy here is, I hope they don't just repurpose Shuri to fit the plan they had already. If she ends up being another T'Challa, I'm gonna be bummed out. Shuri has clear strengths, maybe more espionage. Take the reins where Cap left off for thrillers, but with more of a futurist lens.
I think that's absolutely correct. You can't just have Shuri be another T'Challa. Like, in that, it would be terrible for Letitia Wright to have to do that. Like, it should be her character that she's already developed and made into something.
Yeah. And Malfoy again. Said also, T'Challa died in the snap last time, so maybe the rhetoric here is, we lost you once.
Yeah, that's true.
We lost you once, we're not going to do it again. So
yeah,
go be the king.
Yeah, you're right. That's the perfect in right there. Yeah, or out, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
Now, who from the Marvel universe that we have not seen in the MCU yet would you love to see in the next Black Panther movie?
Namor.
Yeah, I like Namor, and I've been saying it. It should, because last time Ryan Coogler talked about it, I think it was called Black Panther: The Two Kings or something like that. So that means, to me, that either means Namor because he's the king of Atlantis, or Doctor Doom because he's the king of Latveria. Like, what if that means those two kings are warring, and Black Panther has to, as Wakanda, has to pick a side? Because if you think about it, like, Atlantis is also supposed to be super tech forward, yeah, which is going to be interesting because it's kind of a repeat of what we have with Wakanda already, but they could definitely do it in a different way. And Doctor Doom himself, even though Latveria might not be super tech forward, Doctor Doom is, and his stuff is mixed with magic. So what is a scientist like Shuri going to be like? Well, how does that work? And he's like, oh, well, I did some spells to do it. She's like, spells? That's not real. Like, magic isn't real. And then she gets introduced to Doctor Strange and Thor, and he's like,
and that's where Strange comes rolling in, and he's like, hold on. Let me talk to this man for a second. I have a hard time, I want Doom. I have a hard time accepting that Doom would be around because Strange has been so forward with hi, I'm talking to everybody that could be a threat.
I mean, that's true, but look at one, he could definitely do a whole shield over himself the same way Wakanda did. to
True.
hide him, to hide his abilities.
True.
2, when Odin was just hanging out in Norway, like Doctor Strange didn't go find him. Like, I know it was only a couple days because the home that he was put in just got crushed, but like maybe because it's Europe, like Doctor Strange is like, I don't have to really worry about it right now.
That's the London Sanctum's problem.
Exactly.
Pep says it's a universe fold to introduce them. They come in with the next wave of characters. So as we get into the next like wave of movies and shows, whenever the hell that decides to come out, I'm looking at you, Disney Plus. I could see that. And I think if it is Doctor Doom, that's the perfect way to just go, hi, we have Doom. Here's the Fantastic Four. Talk about it.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be great to have whoever's playing Reed Richards and Shuri's character just be like hashing it out over science?
I want that. I want Pete there somewhere, though. Like,
yeah.
I need that interaction, even if it's like whatever the aftermath is from whatever the next Spider-Man movie is called.
Yeah, didn't we say Homesick?
I think we said Homesick. I was trying to remember what we called it. So whatever the aftermath is from this whole like murder allegation, if he gets a job with like an internship or something with Reed, then he can just be like, hey, we got to go to this tech conference thing in Wakanda. Here we go. And he just takes Pete with him because he's the ultimate. You can plug him in anywhere.
Yeah. True.
He's so like he's a strong enough character to stand alone, but he's also just benign enough to just kind of like exist wherever you want to put him.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So they just like, and he's there. Then you get Reed Richards, you get Shuri, and you get Peter all talking about tech stuff in the same room where it's just like, oh, what about this? Oh, that'd be so cool. What about this? I want to be down, but I don't think the math works out. Like, I want that conversation where everybody's just like nerding over something and everybody else in the room is so lost. Just for somebody to be like, are you done? And Pete look and go, I was once told by a smart man that tried to kill me, never apologize for being the smartest man in a room.
There you go. I mean, he did try to kill me, but okay, so I mean, I guess it's to that point. I think it's your turn to ask.
All right, hey Mitch, if you could recast anybody in this movie to be Tom Cruise, who would it have been?
I mean, I feel like you have to do. I mean, even though I would never take out Andy Serkis from this role. I think that's the role, right? Like Tom Cruise has to play Claw in all the eccentricities. I can't say that word right now.
Pep's upset. See, because when we were doing Ultron, that's who we had said would be Tom Cruise.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. So it just makes sense that we keep it like straight across. But Pep's really upset because he has to be Martin Freeman's character because he flies a plane.
Oh my God, you're right. He's right. Pep is right. Yep. I mean, he wouldn't let anybody else fly a plane. Like no. It's just he would jump and they would be like, dude, it's not a real plane. And he's like, no, I'm flying the plane. It's like, all right, my bad.
Oh no. Malfoy says the pilot is obvious answer, yes, but no, it's the dead pilot. He plays the guy that gets shot.
Oh. Claw's friend.
Yeah. I would have been good. I would have been good with either of those two. I think those are the only two that you could recast him as in this movie. Yeah.
Essentially, he could have been some random UN person.
Yeah, that's a waste of budget, though. So is the dead pilot. Like that's also a waste of budget. And there was no perfect running form from the dead pilot. So
yeah, that's right. So if you go with that's definitely what it is that would be the perfect place for him.
Yeah,
like it's one of those characters. And I was going to say that the pilot guy was definitely someone that is I've seen him in other things. That actor, I've seen that actor in other things all the time. Like he has big talking roles, and he's usually a bad guy, but like in this, he has absolutely no lines of dialogue. He's just there.
I would have also liked to have seen that guy be Steven Seagal. Just I don't know why. I think that he could have been Steven Seagal. That particular henchman. But like 20 years ago, Steven Seagal.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's neither here nor there, though.
I get that.
Okay. I think we talked about it a little bit with who we want to see from the MCU show up in the next one. Mitch, you said that you had a prediction of where these characters are going to show up next, like where Killmonger was going to show up.
Yeah, that's what I was. My Killmonger was him showing up in the afterlife, in that realm where he gets trained by him in that realm. Like I think that would be it. That's how you get Michael B. Jordan and Killmonger back.
My head went in a completely different direction.
Okay. So what was your prediction? Because I didn't think you actually got it, because what we were talking about had absolutely nothing to do with my prediction.
I thought that he was going to show up in Loki.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because
and I can see that.
Like have Killmonger show up in Loki, and they just kind of like goon around together for a little bit, like whatever. But you could also explain the vibranium heist that Claw pulled with Loki.
Oh, you know what else would also be kind of cool? Because Zemo, like before Civil War, was this what is it called? Mercenary, or at least he was army, like Sokovian army or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Like he was straight up, like they could have had missions together before Civil War, and that could be part of the Falcon Winter Soldier show, where the two of them, like he has memories of fighting with Killmonger.
I'd be absolutely here for it. He doesn't need to be another standalone big bad. But I think that they are robbing us of an amazing performance and a good character by having just like one and done him. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
How do I get a job on the creative board for this to go, no, we're not doing it again. Stop it.
I say you just walk over to the Marvel Studios office and just like, don't even knock on the door and ask. Just go sit in the boardroom and act like you belong there.
I'll put on a suit.
That's exactly how it happened.
I'll put on like a nice suit and just like walk in and go, yeah, yes, business, Marvel movies, yes. Hi, I'm new here, but the way that we've been handling our villains is all wrong.
Don't even say I'm new here. Just be like, the way we're handling our villains is all wrong, and make big, bold statements.
And point across the table, damn it, Stevenson, this is the last time you get to write anything or have any say on how we treat our villains. My name's not Stevenson, it is now.
Yeah, because I got rid of Stevenson. Yeah. Oh, okay.
You don't want to be him. What's your name? David? All right, David, pack up your stuff. You're out. You're gone.
Fire. All right. Chad, have any last thoughts on Black Panther so we can wrap up?
Malfoy said Steven Seagal, but when he gets shot and the effect goes off, he neither acknowledges nor pretends to die. He simply yawns and walks off set.
I could see that.
I'd be here for it. I think we're good. So, Mitch, when they're not here listening to us talk about this kind of stuff, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I am at Mitchipedia, GEM. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. And if they're not here right now on our live stream, where can people find you, Ian?
Hey, gang, if you're listening to this after the fact, come be part of the conversation, be part of the fun over at twitch.tv/EMFlux. We record on Wednesdays, so come be a part of it. And if you want to talk to me on Twitter, I too am on Twitter at EMFlux12. That's IANFLUX, the numbers 1, 2.
Perfect. The rest of Geek Elite Media is at Geek Elite Media on Twitter, at Geek Elite Media on Instagram, and Facebook.com/Geek Elite Media is our Facebook page. Check out archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts on our network on our website, geekelatemedia.com. Please check out our Patreon. Like, go and see all the exclusive material that we have there. It's so much.
Like,
Looked like you were about to say.
I was going to say, Chad, if you don't go and look at it right now, I will fight you.
And you know, there's a lot of bonus material that we create just for the Patreon that I think a lot of people would enjoy, and if they had the opportunity. But please, if you're listening to this as a podcast, whatever podcatcher you use, rate and review us so that it helps spread the word of our network for others to enjoy. But until next time, this is Journey into Mystery on the Geek Elite Media Network saying, always remember to geek out.